What will never be the same again once the pandemic is over? The weird pride surrounding dragging yourself to work when you're sick. Hopefully pizza delivery. No contact pizza delivery is the best thing to come out of this. No one will trust you if you have the common cold or a slight cough. I really hope all this sets a new precedent in terms of public sanitation. The amount of places that are like, look, we're doing full sanitation procedures to make sure you stay safe. And it's like, you weren't before. Grody. Edit. Folks, I live in the UK, we don't say, grody, over here. Stop assuming everyone you interact with on the internet is from the US. Commuting. I'm sure I will work from home regularly. Traffic jams will not disappear, but will be less common. Sitting in a doctor's office waiting room when you're sick. I feel like lots of people will wear masks to hospitals and doctors' offices from now on. I'm never wearing a bra again, baby. I have plenty of friends I've lost all respect for, so that's something that's changed. I wonder if this will cause a boom in the entertainment industry and restaurants. As much as I like eating, and watching movies at home. Sometimes there is nothing like getting out of the house and being able to enjoy a good movie or a meal out. Though I do hope this causes movie prices to go down. $20 for a movie, and even before the pandemic hit, most movies weren't even worth that money. Many smaller businesses that are already heavily suffering will not able to recover even after the pandemic because it has become so normal for many to just use Amazon. So please support your local businesses. My trust in the government. My faith in humanity will never recover. Not that I ever did it much previously, but I highly doubt I'll ever eat at a buffet again. Our healthcare workforce. I'm afraid of a mass exodus of nurses in particular. This pandemic kicked everyone's ass, but none more so than healthcare workers. Snow days. It won't be much of a debate anymore, it will be more like yo the roads aren't good so y'all just stay home SND Zoom for the day we will be back in person tomorrow. I have a slightly different take on some of this stuff, like handshakes, hugging, and casual physical contact. I think we're gonna go back to doing these things just as soon as we feel it's safe. I know some parts of the country people already are, for better or worse. But it's so important for human interaction. I just think we're going to actually appreciate how important these things are. Just being close to someone and looking them in the eye after shaking their hand or patting them on the back is critical to making a personal connection. Yeah, I know masks don't cover your eyes, but not being able to see half of someone's face is terrible when it comes to basic human interaction. The health of people who had permanent organ damage due to COVID. My mental health. In the long term, once the pandemic is over, I don't think a whole lot is going to change, but I do see the loss of many small businesses being permanent. There will be fewer people working in offices than before, but I don't think permanent WFH is going to catch on as much as people predict. While some people love WFH, some people hate it, or they are unable to do it effectively, and I think over time there will be some recruitment and retention issues. Those who want to WFH will migrate to companies that are full WFH, while those who want to work in an office will migrate to those jobs. Having to sneeze in public. For me, grocery shopping. I haven't been inside a store in several months. It's really nice to be able to pull up at a store and have someone load groceries into the trunk. Right now it's free in my city, but I would happily pay to use this service. I haven't had so much as a head cold in 2020. Guessing the extra sanitization and general cleanliness has been helpful. I always washed my hands like normally, but maybe extra focus is a good idea forever. You're going to see a lot of businesses go fully remote permanently, so a lot of people are going to be moving out of cities into the suburbs, so they are going to start booming and turning into small cities. 6 to 10 feet of space between people in waiting lines. Adult kids living with their family. I think it'll be more widely accepted in the Western world. I think the plexiglass dividers at checkouts will stay around. The feeling of being in a rave, passing round water and sharing bodily fluids, being the 1000th person to use a portaloo and singing with all your breath, will never be the same again. There is no way we can feel that free again without the pandemic thoughts creeping in. A lot about my life has come, gone and changed in the past year and during the pandemic, all while I've been sitting here just clavering away by me lonesome. I don't think I'll ever quite see the world the same again, but I guess that's just livin', right? Let's wear masks in public whenever we might be feeling under the weather. I always thought that a very sensible and considerate gesture to make when I saw it being done in other parts of the world. Movie theaters. I think they'll still be around, but there will be fewer, and it won't be the only place to see brand new movies. People will only go for the experience. I don't think I can ever touch anything again without thinking about the germs all over its sad face. Birthday parties. No more blowing candles. Ever. Again. Can we keep drive-up doctor's visits? I get upper respiratory infections almost every winter, and being able to sit in my car and have the doc come to me was glowing star, magical glowing star. No big waiting room, little waiting room while miserable. Being able to order drinks through an app while you're at a bar. Boundaries between work, school and home. When many businesses and schools went completely virtual, there was no longer the boundary of work, school is at work, school and home is at home. Now work, school is at home, and many of them feel as though all your time is now their time. The common attitude many people have already seen from many businesses, schools is, you're at home so you're not doing anything anyway. They contact you at inappropriate hours, assume you have all the time in the world to take on a much higher workload, and make demands they wouldn't otherwise make. Breaks, days off are also often not respected, as again, the general attitude is, you're at home so you're not doing anything anyway. Having to go back into an office when working from home produced the same results. How I look at some of my coworkers. I thought a lot of them were responsible. This pandemic has shown me their true side. They are lazy and only care about themselves. Now that they don't have a supervisor watching them, they have a completely different attitude. Trust in governments. It wasn't good to begin with, but now it is virtually non-existent. They turned one of the biggest tragedies of this century into a power grab. Most governments, all around the world. As far as I'm concerned, there is no forgiveness for them. I don't know about never, but I fear that people might keep wearing masks just to cover their faces because of self-esteem issues. Just to clarify, I'm not judging anyone for not wanting to show their face. I just think that even with low self-esteem and/or confidence you should like your face is usable, if that makes sense. Covering it should be a choice and not a way of survival in my opinion. Casinos. I thought they were skanky and dirty before COVID, but still fun as hell. Now standing at a craps table shoulder to shoulder breathing 20 dudes air and sharing chips with dozens of people for hours sounds fucking gross. The pandemic showed me the true colors of a lot of people, and I actually realized why the world is garbage. People are garbage, and the few people that aren't like that are treated like they are. For the French and many others, la bise loudly crying. On a personal level, I've learned about what I can and can't live with, what I need around me and what can just drift away with the wind. And it'll make my planning to move out on my own again much easier. Going outside, I think that wearing masks will be a common thing even after the pandemic. It will no longer be weird to wear face coverings in public, so celebrities will always wear them to not be recognized. Me. I will never be able to see people as, mostly good, ever again. It feels like most people have been selfish, uncaring narcissists during this pandemic. I have seen people standing too close to others in queues, coughing and sneezing without masks in public, going to parties, pubs and restaurants and then visiting their parents and not giving a damn that they could kill someone who is vulnerable. Now I view people very differently, including family members who just couldn't bear to stay at home or wear a fucking mask. I now see people as, mostly sociopaths. Let's be real, guys. When the pandemic is over and it's safe to go back to normal, society will go back to pre-COVID times for the most part. Crowded bars and clubs, concerts, handshakes, no more masks etc. Though I think it will be gradual and slow within the first few years of the end. I guarantee there will be COVID as over parties to compensate for the lack of parties. It's kind of stupid to think people will continue to social distance when it's over. I mean, people have a hard time doing it now. However, I think things like WFH will be a lot more common. I have lost a lot of faith in my neighbors, and I am so disappointed and disturbed at how many people casually threaten harm to folks and see no problem with it. Things like saying they're going to knock someone's teeth out if they report them for parties. Things like calling people who are following rules sheeple, and accusing parents of locking their children up and depriving them for isolating homeschooling. It's just been sad and it's so disheartening. I'm never going to look at my community the same way again. Sneezing. I have a guy friend who constantly jokes that I have COVID if I sneeze once. I tell him no, John, it's from all the goddamn dust and hair and shit that gets in my nose. No, I'm not sick, I'm fine. Even if you sneeze into a mask, you'll get quite a few panicked, worried looks from people who will be going, oh no, here we go again. Interpersonal relations and old school etiquette type of things. Shaking hands. Hugging. Holding a door for someone. I think people will be less likely to do some of these things. It's sad.